Hello and welcome back to another Outlaw walkthrough. Today we're going to be discussing how to set up custom footers. So let's go ahead and jump into it. If you'll remember, if you've been an FVDA or Outlaw user for a while, previously for your org, you were only allowed to have basically one footer. If we click into it and see, basically this would be applied to all of your documents. There wasn't necessarily a way to turn this off, which could be problematic for things like, court documents or other things that don't actually need to have a footer on them. So Outlaw recently came up with the ability to make custom footers and headers. If you haven't watched my header video, go check that one out. But today we're going to be discussing specifically how to set up those footers. So the first thing is you'd want to navigate and open up your template that you're going to be inserting this footer on. The next part, you're going to go over to the overview here. You're typically always going to be landing on this overview, but since we're setting up footers, we're going to navigate over to footer over here. You can see I already have some set up. Typically, you'll mostly always see this footer 1, and it will typically always say all pages. This is a default if you don't want any footer on your document, because this will come with one and it will kind of just display at the top of your overview. If nothing's filled in, it'll just kind of say, footer default. You can come over here and you can actually select no pages. That essentially turns off the footer and then you won't see it. My other ones here, you can see I have a 1-column footer here, and this one is a 2-column footer. I had already inserted these, but if you need to insert another, you can simply come in here up to the Add New section and select 1 or 2 column. This will allow you to enter one of your choosing. Let's go ahead and enter a 1 column. And then you would be able to start typing your footer here, or you can also opt to maybe insert an image. And by using an outlaw variable, by using the open brackets and the hashtag and then typing in whatever you want to name your variable, you're able to make this an image. This is what I did here. You can see we have this Texas logo. If I wanted to finish making this an image, I would need to come in here. This one was already previously set up, so let's actually rename something else. Let's call this footer image. Typically, when you first enter an outlaw variable, it's always going to be defaulted to text, but you can come in here and you can change that down here to image. So you'd want to do that, and then you would come in here and basically just select the image that you would like, hit update, and now you'll have an image in your footer if that's what you would like to use. So it's pretty cool as you go through and start setting these up. And something to note when you first add one in, this is defaulted to no pages. So you would need to come in here and do all pages or first pages over here. And then once you select that, you can also select how you want the page numbering to look as well. So that is pretty cool. Something else to note on this is that this is you're only able to see your footers or your headers or even your watermarks. And if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. But you're only able to see those when you're viewing it as a PDF. If you download as a Word doc, you're not going to be able to see it. If you're viewing this document in your Filevine as a .vine, you won't see the footer. But when you download it as a PDF, you will. So we're going to go ahead in here and just kind of demonstrate that. So if I went up to preview as, I can go to PDF and I can see what my footer is going to look like. Now, here we have 2 headers. Technically, we have 4. We have these right here. 2 of them are deactivated. This one I'm not going to use. If I wanted to delete it, I can go ahead up here and delete section, hit confirm. But these 2 I am using. So let's go ahead and see, because having 2 footers, how would that really work? We'd go in here, view PDF, scroll down. You can see that it's showing my first activated footer, and it's not showing the second one. That's because you basically have to pick between which footer you want to show at one time. So if I come up here, I can also deactivate this one. And then if I go and preview PDF, so then you can see once I deactivated that other one, I am getting my other header showing, or my other footer showing up here. Now you might be wondering, well, what if I have multiple footers that I want to show depending on maybe the office location or who the attorney is signing it, that's not a problem either. For instance, if we wanted to filter this off of the office location, we could look to use a Filevine, either a Filevine connected field or something that's in our overview that would be, an outlaw variable to basically filter off of that. So we can come in here. This is our outlaw variable that we've built out. You can see here I have Texas and Arizona listed offices, but this is a Filevine connected field that's also pulling from the case summary in Filevine. And depending on which state is selected, certain footers would be filled in. So either one of these is viable. I'm going to go ahead and base it off of offices here. And I can base one of the other ones off of this case summary state. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to look for my conditional variable. And again, I'm in section in general, and I'm going down to my conditions. I'm going to look for that office location here. List of offices. I scrolled past it. So for this top one, we're going to go ahead and do for Arizona. Now for this next one, I'm going to have this be based on the state, and I can go ahead and do Texas here. So depending on what has been filled out in my Filevine is going to kind of determine, how this document would look. So if we navigate over to our Filevine here, and let's go ahead and run this. And we can see, actually, before I do that this is set to Texas. So let's go ahead and generate. So now that we have both of those set up, I wanted to show you what they would look like in Filevine when you're generating from FVDA. So we'll go ahead over here. We can see that I went ahead and generated a document, and I chose, the different office location here. You can see because this is a .vine and not a PDF, I'm not able to see either the header or any of my footers here. So I would have to come over here and export or preview as a PDF. And so I have both of them up here. So this first one, we can see this is our Texas one. We have our footer, the 2-column footer kind of showing up. I did 2 different formatting. I think I did left aligned and then, left aligned and then maybe right aligned over here. So that's why things look a little bit weird and not completely centered, but you can kind of change that up depending on what you're trying to achieve. And then the other one is just, the Phoenix kind of header one down here, the Arizona one. So, or the footer down here, sorry. So that's kind of what they would look like. You can see it showing up on all the pages. So that's pretty much how you can set up your custom footers. And I hope you found this helpful.